Welcome to another week of Family Life with Mama Rita. It's been an awesome month. I started with this beautiful, pretty lady the beginning of October. But then you all know that October is Pinktober, where we do breast cancer awareness. So we had to break to have the breast cancer awareness, and it's been so good. I want to say a very big thank you to Dr. Betty and Dr. Betty Atefa, and then Dr. Vanessa Apia. Thank you, you were awesome. I've been receiving messages that I need to bring you back. So I've told you if I get questions, I won't advertise my ignorance. I'm certainly going to bring you back to answer the questions. But today is a very, shall we give a clap to them? A shout, a shout, a shout, a shout, a shout to Dr. Betty and Dr. Vanessa. So, like I said at the beginning of October, I had this wonderful woman coming to talk to us about building strong emotional defenses. Building strong emotional defenses. We all go through stress. We all go through emotions. We go through ups and downs in our lives. Sometimes things do not work very well for us in our lives. We break down because we don't have emotional support. So I decided I really need to do a part 2 with her. And the part 2 is not an ordinary part 2, but I decided to invite my daughters to come and be a part of today's meeting. I want to hear your clap and I want to hear your shouts. So today is a very special meeting with women in ministry. You are wondering what is women in ministry. Women in ministry are lady reverends, lady pastors, pastors' wives, ministers from both Royalhouse Chapel and my daughters who look up to me. Daughters who want to be like Mama Rita. Daughters who want to preach like Mama Rita. Daughters who want their marriages to be as beautiful as Mama Rita. I am not hearing you and feeling you. So I invited my daughters, women in ministry, to be a part of today's family life. But with me today is a wonderful lady you met a few weeks back. Today I might call her surname because the last time I kept making mistakes with her name. Miss Shaquila Jones. Did I mention it right this time? Shaquila. Everybody says Shaquila. We know Shaquila. She as S-H-E. But Americans, there's S-H-A. And you are saying Shaquila anyway. So, Miss Shaquila Jones is my guest for today. Miss Shaquila Jones is a mental health advocate, an international educator with a unique blend of expertise in psychology, counseling, and technology. She holds a Bachelor of Arts in Psychology and also a Master of Arts in Marriage. Please listen, in Marriage and Family Counseling. So she actually qualifies to be in her seat today. She's a certified full-stack technology developer as well. Currently, she serves as a counselor at GIS, Ghana International School, here in Accra. Shikwela, I mentioned it right? Shikwela, you are welcome one more time. You are welcome one more time. Welcome to Family Life with Mama Rita. So your audience today are women in leadership, women who are pastors, women who are doing the work of the Lord. Some are leaders with a whole organization of women under them. Some of them are heads of our children's department. Some of them are parents of our teens department. Some of them are pastors' wives from other organizations. Before we continue, I'd want you to tell them about, do a summary of what happened the last time, and then we will continue with today's discussion.
Okay, so last time we talked about building emotional defenses, but we defined emotional defenses by basically saying that this is how you regulate your emotions in a healthy way. So emotional defenses isn't shutting down, it isn't isolating, it isn't not crying, it isn't being strong, it is being honest, it's being vulnerable. You're actually being in community with someone else to let them know, I'm not okay. And just know it's okay to say that you're not okay. And one of the big things was we learned that it is probably not in the other person's best interest to say, be strong. Because being strong can come with such dangerous implications. I can't cry. I can't tell you I'm sad. I cannot express my true emotions with you. So instead of saying be strong, tell them be honest, be sad. Be in your feelings, grieve, be vulnerable, and I'm here. Some of the times you don't even have to say anything to the person. Your physical presence is enough. And a lot of the times we don't know what to say. When someone passes away, say if a friend of yours loses their mother, what do you really say to them that's going to make them feel better? You end up saying something like, well, God knows best. That can really anger a person. If you're telling me that God took my mother away and I'm causing all this pain, instead say, let me sit here and pray with you. Or let's just sit. Tell me how you feel. And don't bash them when they say, I'm angry because God did this. That is not the time for you to go into preacher mode and say, well, don't bash God or don't question God. No, what you say is, your feelings are valid. I hear you. I'm here. Whatever it is I can do to make things better, I'm here. And let them tell you what they need. You don't tell them what they need. So that's pretty much a big summation of what we're talking about. And I love a lot of the questions that we had coming in. Because building emotional defense isn't just about processing grief through death. It can be processing a job loss, a relationship loss, feeling betrayed. It can be, I'm having financial issues, or you all are having the walk this weekend. I'm dealing with my weight. There's a lot that can be done about that. It's emotional. I'm a person that's on my fitness journey right now. It is hard losing their weight. It's easy gaining it, though. And that's a lot of emotions connected with that. So that's pretty much what we went over with emotional defense, is regulating our emotions and displaying them in a healthy way, as well as helping other people and the children with it.
Thank you. So we've been talking about emotional defense. And she's saying that emotional defense is not about being strong. As counselors, as women leaders, as presidents of our women's organizations, when people come to us crying, all we say is be strong. Emotional defense is not being strong. Emotional defense is being vulnerable. It's being able to talk. It's being able to say, I am hurting. It's being able to cry. is being able to pour out your heart. And I learned a few weeks ago that when somebody comes to you crying, don't say be strong. Be strong means that bottle up. Be strong means that you don't have the right to cry. You don't have to make people know that you are vulnerable, you are weak. Are we getting it? So this is what emotional defense is all about. Today we are actually going to talk about building support systems. Building support systems. Before we go to building support system, I want to give a shout to 2G. Our pink walk was something else. Oh my God. People have anointing in front and at the back. People couldn't climb the McCarthy Hill. Oh, but it was wonderful. It was fun. We built emotional support. We laughed. We had fun. We played games. I mean, it was something else. We danced. We laughed. And make a date with us same time next year for Pink Walk. Pinktober was powerful. It was a time of dressing up in our pinks, and I would want the media to play some of, the Sunday after Sunday with our pinks. It's been so good. My darling, if you didn't go to check your breasts, you can check it, but you will pay. It is only in the month of October that all across the country in Ghana, I don't know what happens elsewhere, but in Ghana, all across our nation, you can go to any clinic and have a screen done free of charge. My darling, don't sit down and have breast cancer. You heard me last week and last 2 weeks. You heard me talking about breast cancer. The doctors were so good. And I said, if you want to meet any of the doctors, Dr. Betty is at the Ridge Hospital, and then Dr. Vanessa is at the Accra London Medical Center. But you'd always find them here at Royalhouse Chapel. If it's difficult to find them at Ridge and Accra Medical Center, you can walk into Oil Dome any Sunday to our clinic or church, and we can make an appointment for you to meet Dr. Betty or Dr. Vanessa. Miss Jones, I have lots and lots of questions for you, and my audience would also ask questions. Why do you think so many people today try to handle life all by themselves? They handle life alone, even when they clearly need help. I don't know what happens in America, where you come from, but in this part of the country, like I said, people want to act strong, people want to look strong, people want to feel strong. So instead of talking, most of the time they are all by themselves with issues. Why do you think so many people handle life all by themselves?
There are pretty much two reasons why people want to handle life all by themselves. It's fear and it's pride. And it's interesting how fear and pride always go hand in hand with each other. So the fear is, I fear being vulnerable because I may appear weak to another person. Nobody wants to appear weak, and that's where pride comes in. So this culture isn't that much different from American culture, because especially in America, we love to appear that we are the strongest, we're the best, nothing phases us. And I'm seeing that in Ghana as well. In Ghana, it's more of, I don't want to appear weak because someone may take advantage of it. And then we're in a Christian nation too. If I appear weak, I'm saying that I don't believe what God says about me. You are a human being.
You are a human being. I like that.
You're going to have weak moments. That's why the support systems are so important. When you eliminate pride and fear, because God didn't give us the spirit of fear, and he does not want us to be prideful, you can actually be vulnerable. You can get help, and you don't have to suffer in silence. Scripture even tells us not to isolate. If we're saying we're a Christian nation, why aren't we following what thus said the Lord and to not isolate and to not have pride? So that's pretty much what it is, fear and pride. That's all that it is.
Whilst we are talking, please write down your questions if you have one. And then when it comes to ask Mama Rita, you can ask your questions. And Miss Jones, when we talk about being vulnerable, you'll be surprised some people do not understand what it means to be vulnerable. What do you mean when you say you can be vulnerable?
Being vulnerable is being raw.
Being what?
Being vulnerable is raw. Like,
raw.
I know my accent throws you guys sometimes.
Yeah.
R-A-W, raw.
R-A-W,
yes,
so raw.
I'm being raw.
Being vulnerable means being raw.
Okay. You're being authentically who you are.
Okay.
If you are emotional in that moment, that is an authentic, raw emotion. It's okay to say, I am upset, I'm losing it. It is being honest. So being vulnerable is being raw. It's not hiding. You don't try to downplay what's going on. You are literally saying, this is what I am experiencing. Vulnerability is honest, and there takes a lot of strength to be a vulnerable person. So to me, that's being strong. Be vulnerable, you're going to be strong.
So being vulnerable means being raw, being yourself, being emotional, saying I am hurting, being frank. I mean, that is the Ghanaian term, being frank, being very raw, letting people know that you are not God, you are not angel, you are not a spiritual being, you're also a human being, and you have emotions. That is what being vulnerable means. So many homes look fine on the outside, but people feel lonely inside the walls of the home. I have heard some married people say they are actually lonely, though they are always with their spouses. What breaks that kind of emotional distance within a family? And kids are also inheriting these things.
Lack of intimacy. And I know the first thing people think when you say intimacy, they think sex. I'm not talking about sex. Intimacy really is active listening, open and honest, transparent communication. When two people get married and they are spending all this time together, but there's no depth. It's not quality time, it's quantity. You may be around each other 8 hours out of the day, but what are you talking about during that 8 hours? Is that person paying attention to your needs? Are they paying attention to the things you like? Are you doing the same thing? And whether we like it or not, kids pay attention to everything you say and things you don't say. You are going to be the model to how that child operates in a relationship, whether it's platonic or it's going to be a romantic relationship, because they're going to look at, well, my dad treated my mom this way and my mom act like this. I can always tell when a child is growing up in a loving, stable home, not because they tell me, but because of the way that child moves with their relationships. Things that they're just not going to put up with certain stuff, and things that they tolerate. That kid that says, my friends are mean to me, I kind of know that, okay, mom and dad probably aren't that nice to each other. So the first thing is just a lack of intimacy.
Lack of intimacy. And when we talk about intimacy, my darling, we are not talking about sex.
Yes. And then there's no active listening. And I always make sure I say active listening. You know how you'll talk to somebody and they heard you, but it went in one ear and not the other. Active listening is, I heard your words, I'm processing your words, and I can speak those words back to you. I'm sure some of you, your husbands will be on their phones, and you're talking to them, and he hadn't heard a word you just said.
I hope you heard her. So people are in relationships, people are in homes, nice, beautiful houses, yet they are lonely. They are lonely because there's no intimacy. There isn't much of communication. People are not listening. You are talking to your spouse and you can feel he's not listening. Or your spouse is talking to you and he can feel you are not listening. These days we sit at table and instead of talking to each other and listening to each other, we are on our phones. You are talking to your spouse and he's watching football, or he's talking to you and you are busy doing something. So this is why there's so much, distancing in the home and in the family. And these days, she's saying, you can even see it in the way the children behave. She is a counselor in school, and when she tells you this, so if there's no intimacy in the home, trust me, your children are showing it in school. They can tell if there's no communication at home. They can tell if mommy and daddy do not have a good relationship. They can tell if somebody is not listening. They can tell. So please write down your questions. I believe you have lots and lots of questions.
Let me finish saying something to that really
please
quickly.
Go ahead.
Another thing about the lack of intimacy is not just between you and your partner, but is it with you and your children? Because we will have children that their parents do not talk to them. And I get it, you're busy. You just want to make sure that child has a roof over their head, food in their mouth, and clothes on their back. That's not enough now. It's not enough. It's great that you're doing it, but it's not enough. That child needs for you to talk to them every single day. Because you know what happens? Satan operates in silence. When you are quiet with your kids, you better believe Satan is in their ear talking to them, and he's saying the worst of the worst, because they're going to hear somebody, and it should be you, not anything else. And I get it. I work with kids every single day. Sometimes they do stuff to frustrate you. You lose your patience with them. Never, ever, ever go silent on your kid, because when you go silent, there are other voices that are very powering. Now, you can take 5-10 minutes and take a break from them and regroup yourself, but never go 2 and 3 days. And I've been working with children for quite some years. And just over the years, I've had kids to tell me, oh, my parents got mad at me and didn't talk to me for 2 days. And I thought, who doesn't talk to their kid for 2 days? What do you think you're teaching your child about relationships or forgiveness or love? It really is. So have that intimacy, not just with your partner, but with your children as well, because you are going to be the example. Your first ministry is in your home. Your kids are the first people you got to minister to. So handle that well.
I hope you heard it. You can't go a day without talking to your children. If you don't talk to your children, if you don't listen to them, if you don't communicate with them, trust me, they would hear other voices. And especially for us whose children are in the secondary school and in the universities, my darling, things are happening in the universities. I watched something on WhatsApp this week where a child came from school, secondary school, boarding school, and the parents knew the child so well. But this time the child came and would not want to sit at table with them to eat. The child came and would not want to be in the TV room watching television with them. He stays indoors and will be indoors the whole day. And the parents kept asking, is everything okay? He said everything is fine. Is everything okay? Everything is fine. And I believe this particular day, the father of the boy who had just come from school decided to wake up around 1:30 to go and pray. It was actually the mother. Woke up to go and pray. And heard from the son's room crying. The son was sobbing all by himself, crying. So mommy decided to call daddy. They kept asking him questions. The boy was not talking. So daddy made mommy a sign. Please leave. Let's have daddy and son talk. Boys talk. So mommy went out and daddy spoke to this boy. Guess what? In school that term, there was a group of young guys who all of a sudden started being very nice to this boy. Extremely nice. Would buy him gifts, give him groceries, provisions, buy shirts. And the boy thought, oh, these guys were just being nice to him. Then there was a party. This boy said, I don't want to go. But he also didn't want to offend his friends. So let me go. Guess what? At the party, they dragged his drink. He drank it. Didn't know what happened anymore. Apparently, how many boys had sex with him? Anal sex. So he came home. He couldn't walk well. He was bleeding from his anus, and he couldn't talk about it. It took the father to have one-on-one communication with his son, without mommy. Said, let's have a boys' chat. Let's have daddy's son talk. My darling, if we don't talk to our children, they will hear other voices. Within the discussion, I'll tell you another story I heard just this afternoon. My darling, let's not have beautiful houses, nice homes, nice painted walls, yet within the home, we are not talking to our children. Sometimes our children are going through some form of emotions, and because we are not talking to them, other people elsewhere are talking to them. Please write your questions, and if you are watching Family Life, you know how to send your questions to us. When we are done, we will do a bit of Ask Mama Rita, and Miss Jones would answer your questions. Hope you're enjoying it so far. Please, are you enjoying the American English? And are you enjoying my Ghanaian English? You are tired of Ghanaian English. Please enjoy American English whilst it lasts. Miss Jones, friendship plays a huge role in emotional health. What makes a good friend? And how can one be intentional about building such friendship, especially for our children and young adults? But I think this time, not just our children and young adults, but even ourselves. How do we build friendship among ourselves? How do we build sisterhood such that if I have an issue, I know a friend out there can be there for me.
So Proverbs tells us a friend loves at all times. When you love something or you love someone.
I hope you heard her. She's quoting Bible. A friend loves at all times. If you have a friend that is only loving you for who you are, loving you for what you can give, loving you for what you do for them, that person is not a friend. A friend loves at all times. Please preach.
Okay. When you love someone, you want them to trust you, and you want to trust them. When you love someone, you're going to practice consistency with them, and they will with you too. And consistency just isn't the amount of time you spend around each other, but it's going to be, are you praying for your friend? Are you vouching for your friend? Are you protecting your friend? When your friend is not around, can you speak about your friend in a high manner? And if someone else said something about your friend, do you defend your friend? So having a good friend is trustworthiness, is consistency, is having respect and integrity for the person even in their absence, and it is having empathy for that person. And empathy is just you putting yourself in that friend's position. And a big one is encouraging your friend without judgment. You want to make sure you value the depth of that friendship over anything. And one thing to teach our kids is to value true friendship over popularity and recognition. And so we have to do the same things, because even though we're adults, we can get into our insecure space and say, I want to be known by certain people. But is this even somebody that is worth you knowing? Not to say that someone is less than, but that person may not be a good friend for you. So a big thing is that also a friend that can respect your boundaries and encourage your standards and boundaries.
I like that. A friend that can respect your boundaries.
Mm-hmm. When someone can't respect your boundaries, it's because they can't take advantage of you. And your friends don't want to take advantage of you because you have boundaries and, I can't get this from you and I can't get that from you. And boundaries is just a set of standards you've put into place. It's basically your limits. I'm willing to do this, but not that. And my last big thing is your friend will keep you accountable. Oh, yeah. I heard
Your
that.
friend will keep you accountable.
Yes.
Your friend will keep you accountable. Mm-hmm. Your friend will make sure that things are okay with you and with your husband and with your children. Your friend will make sure that what we teach here are women in ministry. What we learn here are women in ministry. You are also practicing it. Your friend will make sure that you are on your toes as a president of your women's organization. You are also doing well. Your friend will make sure that you are keeping your quiet time. Your friend will make sure that you are praying. That is a friend for you. A friend that can't tell you when you go wrong is not a friend. A friend that can tell you that I don't like the way you spoke to your husband is not a good friend. A friend that can tell you that, the way you relate to your children is not good enough. A friend that can tell you, I came to sit in your meeting and the way you addressed your members wasn't good enough. You get what I'm saying. A friend is a friend that can be there when you are even wrong, to be able to open up to you, to say that, listen, what you did was wrong. That is a friend. If you don't have somebody like that, my darling, you don't have a friend. Are we okay? Are we enjoying it so far? Miss Jones, what are some warning signs that a person's support system is draining them instead of strengthening them? Sometimes the support system can be draining. So what are some of the warning signs that the support system is actually draining?
I'm real careful about even calling it a support system if it's draining you. But if you feel worse after interacting with this person or this group, it's draining you. And that is not of God. When you feel dismissed, if I tell my support group, this is what I'm going through, I'm being honest and I'm being vulnerable, but they're telling me, it's not a big deal, let it go. That's not a support group. You're draining me. You're not supporting me. Another thing is when you constantly feel like you're the one giving, and you're giving, and you're giving, and they're receiving, but you're not receiving anything. So you're the number one person, you're the go-to, you're the one that they rely on, but you have no one to rely on in that circle. That's a draining group. And then if you fear being honest, I'm sure at some point in some of our lives we've had that one or two person or people that you didn't want to tell them the truth. And not because they would keep you accountable, because I do want to make sure I point out, accountability can feel draining or toxic when you don't want it. So there's a difference. If the person is literally keeping you accountable, if they're approaching you privately with love and they're holding you responsible for your actions, that's accountability. It's draining when you tell them the truth and they blow up, they embarrass you in front of people, they want to make sure that everybody knows what you have going on, and they dismiss your feelings. So be sure that you know the difference between what is a draining system and what's an accountability system.
Like that. So you need to know the difference between a draining system or being accountable. Is the relationship draining you? Are you always the one giving? And when we talk about giving, it's not just giving of gifts, but giving of time, giving of communication. I handled a couple this week. And the lady said, Mama Rita, I'm tired. I'm tired of this relationship. I'm always the one talking. We can go for an hour walk I go for an hour walk with my husband, and I will talk and talk and talk for an hour, and my husband will not talk. She said, of late, I decided, you know what? I won't talk. And see what will happen. We can sit down 2 hours because I'm not talking. My husband is not talking. It is draining. On the other hand, a support system is a system of accountability. Is the person asking you to account for your life, for your ways, and then you feel like it's been draining. I hope I heard you well. So if you don't understand, please write down your questions. I'll do maybe a question, and then we will go for a break, a commercial break, and we will be back. The church is meant to be a refuge, but sometimes people feel hurt. They feel very hurt in church. How can the church restore trust and truly become a support system again? Some people have stopped church because they are hurt. Some people do not talk because they are hurt. Some people are bottling down because they are hurt. I told somebody my issue and other people, so what can we do about it?
Church hurt it's a different kind of hurt, because this is the place that we come and say, this is it. I'm going to get taken care of here. People are going to pray over me. They're going to love me. And it's almost like you have to grieve the disappointment from that. And also remember that church, everybody in here is a flawed human being. So you have to remind yourself of that, not to excuse the poor behavior, but just remind yourself this is a flawed human being, so I shouldn't have expected too much from them. But still, you're not excusing the behavior, and you're not going to let it go unnoticed. What the church can do is operate in complete transparency and be accountable for what took place. If it was something where, and it depends on the level of it as well. If it's something where I was just dismissed because I came because I was hurt, then yes, we're going to talk, we're going to meet with that person, and we're going to leave that person accountable for whoever hurt them, and we'll do restorative sessions with that person. Now, if it's something big, like someone committed fraud, someone scammed a elderly woman out of her whole life savings, it's time to get the police involved. It's time to fire that person. So complete transparency is a big thing. Another thing is the church has to create safe spaces for vulnerability. And a safe space is a subset of support systems. It's where you can come as the member and you can freely share your experience. You can freely share how you feel about any matter or what you're going through. The last thing, I'm a big advocate for this. I believe the church should have mental health resources. Whether you have a counseling center within the church with actually trained counselors, or you've partnered with a clinic that you can send your members to. It may be a discount rate or a sliding scale. All those things will really help a church restore when there's been church hurt.
Thank you. Let me do the last question, and then we'll go for a short commercial break. How can we make groups and leaders emotionally available and approachable? I know this is a question on the hearts of lots of people. How can we make groups and leaders emotionally available and approachable to provide the support members require? How do we make groups and leaders emotionally available and approachable? And I hope a leader here would ask a question. How do we make leaders available, emotionally available and approachable?
So we need to have emotionally attuned leaders. And
we need to have
emotionally attuned, like they are emotionally equipped, they are in tune with other people's emotions.
We need emotionally equipped leaders. I like that.
So they listen and they empathize. But first, we need to recognize that leadership can be limited. So we have to expand the leadership. And I always think of in the book of Exodus when Jethro gave Moses the advice.
Preach.
Moses was doing everything. He was hearing all of the people's issues, and people were out there all night. And one of the things Jethro told him was, you're going to wear yourself out and you're going to wear your people out. So with the leadership at any church, the lead pastor, you're the one that petitions before the Lord and you handle big issues. So that way the pastors don't wear themselves out. So you get those associate pastors to almost be in charge of certain sects. And then there's a leadership under there. So when it comes to these other like smaller issues or even like semi-big issues, then that's handled well. So now the people are getting served quickly. They don't have to wait for one person or just two people. The people are getting served quickly, and then the pastor isn't getting worn out. It's almost like a tier system. So you want that first. But all of those people that are in leadership position, if you see it, the sub-leaders, they're answering to someone else. So if you have one pastor and you have 12, associate pastors, then under those 12 associate pastors, they manage 10 people. So that way everybody is getting served and no one is being just exhausted. A big thing is your support groups. I'm a big advocate of groups like this. You all are all here together. You can support each other. And this is a big group. You can easily break off into 6 or 7 different groups yourselves, and you can pour into each other. So I'm big on the support groups, the women's groups, counseling. That is just a great way to do things, because you don't want just one system of support. When you're a person, you're a multi-dimensional person. So you may need some financial support here, emotional support there, physical support, and physical can be broken off into different things like your health or your fitness or just eating right. So you have all these different forms of support, or even social support. I need someone that's going to help me with my professional support. So you could have 6 different support groups. And that's pretty much how it's done. I know that was a long answer. I'm sorry, guys.
We will go for a short commercial break and we'll be back. Please, when we are back, we will be ready to answer your questions.
"2025, we are ready, we are ready. You are here to stay. You are here to conquer. You will win. You are a winner. God will preserve you in 2025. If God preserved you, God will preserve you again. If God fought for you, God will fight for you again. If God gave you and preserved you, God will do it again." There are still giants that will be intimidating you, and you have the power of the stone of grace, and the power of the stone of the spirit, the power of the stone of the anointing. This year 2025, every giant shall fall. The giants will be rising again despite the presence of grace. But when they rise, grace in you will speak. Amen. Jesus Christ, the chief cornerstone, he will fight. You have started in worship. You will end the year 2025 in worship. You have started in praise. You will end in praise. You have started in grace. You will end in grace again, despite the presence of grace. But when they rise, grace in you will speak. Amen. Jesus Christ, the chief cornerstone, he will fight. You have started in worship. You will end the year 2025 in worship. You have started in praise. You will end in praise. You have started in grace. You will end in grace. You have started in faith. You will end in faith. You have started well. You have started well. You have started well. Welcome 2025.
Family life with Mama Rita. If you are just joining us, today we are doing building support systems. Everybody needs a support in one way or the other. Nobody can stand on an island, and I think that we need each other. So today we are talking about the support system. With me today is a counselor from GIS, Ghana International School. She's a mental health advocate, an international educator with a unique blend of expertise in psychology, counseling, and technology. She holds a Bachelor of Arts in Psychology and Master of Arts in Marriage and Family Counseling. With me today is Miss Shikwela Jones. So we are ready for the questions. If you are watching us through Powerline or through the social medias, please let your questions flow and we will pick them and answer them. Yes.
Okay, my name is Edna Kwote, and I want to thank Mommy very much for this insightful program. A lot of us are burning out silently, and I think this is an eye-opener for us to open up to how we feel and how we can handle it without breaking. Thank you, Ms. Shikwela. I'm so grateful for this opportunity.
You mentioned the name so well.
It really was
to
good.
America very soon.
Amen. Okay, so my question here is, how do I balance being a nurturer for everyone else, yet honest about my own emptiness?
Did you get the question? Repeat it. How do I
balance being a nurturer?
A nurturer.
A nurturer, yes.
To nurture people.
Yes. For everyone else, yet honest about my own emptiness.
That is a great question.
Yeah.
So, first, self-awareness is vital. Like you're aware of the fact that you're being depleted. So that's the first step. So I applaud you for that.
Self-awareness.
Self-awareness. Knowing your emotional needs will help you in pinpointing the exact support systems that you need for yourself. So joining a support group that speaks to nurturers. When you say nurturer, are you a caregiver? Okay, you're a caregiver, you're a mother, you're a wife, you're doing it all.
Pastor,
yeah,
leader of an organization.
Yes.
There for everyone.
Yes. You're going to hear this word a lot with me. Boundaries.
Boundaries.
Write it out so you can see it. When you write out, this is what I am willing to do, this is what I'm not willing to do, it needs to fall within the category of what you're willing to do, and put a time limit on when you're willing to do it. I can do this for everyone else. I can do this for people. When you do that, it is phenomenal. Another thing is diversify your support group. So hang out with some other wives. Now you're going to hang out with some pastors and be honest about how you're feeling. But take time for you. You can't nurture other people if you're not nurturing yourself. Like, you can't pour from an empty cup. I've heard that so much. So make sure you're taking time to fill your own cup up.
I like that. You can't fill people's tanks when your own tank is not filled. My darling, a lot of you, go ahead. A lot of you are moving with empty tanks. You are almost empty. That is why a group like Women in Ministry is good for you. We are all equals. We are all on the same level. Let's come together. Let's be open. Let's talk. Let's help one another. You can't nurture everybody else and then you are empty. That is why personally I believe that before I help people after church, I must make sure that I'm filled within service. That is why service, I am serious with my prayer. I am serious with my worship. It doesn't matter who is preaching. I am there to listen. I dance. I feel myself. Once you are filled up, you know you can handle others. Number two, let's have boundaries. Unfortunately for us as leaders, as pastors, we don't have boundaries. We want to be everywhere. We want to do everything, even when we are tired, even when we know we are breaking down. We all know the story of Cape Coast's former pastor's wife. The current pastor's wife is here. And every meeting she'll travel all the way from Wesley Girls, Cape Coast. She's here today. The former wife knew she had gotten to her limits. Throughout the week, she wasn't well. She had this headache that wasn't ending. Then she gets an invitation to go and speak. Oh, let me go and do this last speaking and come and rest on the pulpit. She collapses, never returns. My darling, I'm also talking to myself. That is the truth. I'm also talking to myself where we need boundaries. Tomorrow there's a funeral here. How can I say I won't come? The truth is that I'm tired. It's been a very tiring week. If you say you won't come. So sometimes we must learn to say no. That is the truth. That is the boundaries she's talking about. Yes, I have gotten to my limits. I can't. Yesterday I was here to do family life, After family life, I did another. And then there was a couple waiting for me. And by the time I finished, I felt so drained. And you know when you are very, very drained, you go to bed and the sleep doesn't also come. I mean, we need boundaries. Yes, the next question.
While they getting their mics to work, can I say just one
Yes.
thing? If the event can take place without my presence, like if it's someone's funeral, that person is already gone. I do not need to be there if I'm already drained and I've exhausted myself that week. I've been invited to some weddings, like when I was in America, and they were like, we're having this, and it's 4 hours away. Are y'all going to get married anyway if I don't show up? I'm not coming. No. It's okay to say no. And the people that love you will completely understand that. Yeah. Just the same way that your groups aren't 24/7, you're not 24/7. So just say no.
I hope somebody listened and heard it. You are not 24/7. My darling, if you die, the Cape Coast pastor, somebody else has taken a place. Unless you want somebody else to take your place. Trust me, Royal Ladies is going on without her. The church that invited her, the church is going on. You must know your limits. When you are tired, when you feel you don't feel well, sometimes you might hurt people. But she's saying that if they love you enough, they must understand. Yes, Pastor Kafui.
Hello.
Hi.
Yes, thank you for what you're teaching us. So you talk about vulnerability and resilience. Right. So, you know, it's beautiful to see people really open up, be raw, and to be vulnerable. But sometimes we need a strong person to take the vulnerability that is coming, is where my question is. People get raw. I walked into an office, she hardly knew me, and she just poured herself out to me. She was going through a divorce. She had 3 children. I admired her for the boldness and the confidence she just shared with me. And I became a sister with her for like 15 years now, holding her hand, walking with her. Now the question is, sometimes we need somebody strong to receive the vulnerability. If sometimes I get vulnerable with her and I say, please pray with me. But if we want to go very, very vulnerable, there are times that we need people who can also absorb these shocks. There are also times when it seems that you may want people to help you, but it seems nobody seems to be able to help you. Now, what do you do? Because your support is not around. You've just got Christ, you've got the Bible, you've just got the Word of God, you've got friends you can call some miles away. So we do talk a lot about vulnerability, but my question is, where do we build the resilience so that you can also be a blessing to other people? You can also, there comes a time, where does the button stop with your vulnerability?
So, a few things. When you're feeling those moments, you have to stop and pray. When I came on the last time,
I like that.
I shared with Mama Rita that there is scientific research that said prayer literally lowers your cortisol. That is
Please
not,
take your time, let them understand.
Yeah.
Some of them, the American English, they didn't drink coffee this afternoon. So take your time. So first you said you stop and you pray. Mm-hmm. And then what prayer does?
Prayer lowers your cortisol. Cortisol is the hormone, the stress hormone.
Yeah.
When you have high levels of cortisol in moments like that where you can't be vulnerable, you have to stop and pray. I'm a big advocate of journaling as well. It helps you organize your thoughts.
Journaling, writing down, having a diary to write down what you are going through and what is happening in your life.
Afterwards, when you feel like no one gets it, seek professional help. There are so many counselors right here in Ghana that you can call, text, email, or go into their office. Because the reality is the support system is never a replacement for professional help. Your support system is there to help you along, but the professional help is there. They're going to be a lot stronger than that. When it comes to different people, like the lady that you mentioned, we have to think of human beings like containers. We all have a certain capacity. You may be a cup, this person may be a gallon, this person may be a teaspoon. Nobody's wrong for being a teaspoon, nobody's wrong for being a cup, nobody's wrong for being a gallon. The gallon can handle all of your vulnerability. Teaspoon may not be able to do that, but teaspoon is still useful. So think of people in that way. Who are you talking to? Do they have the capacity to handle what you're going through? And some people just don't. They just don't. So that's when you're going to learn to self-soothe along with the other things I just mentioned. You learn to self-soothe. Speak over yourself. Encourage yourself. And that's okay. I'm not saying you have to do it the entire time, but just be realistic about the different individuals that you're pouring into. That is why I encourage having multiple different support groups, so you don't wear one person out and be shocked that, man, this person is a cup, but I got a gallon worth of problems. I'm sorry, I'm speaking in imperial, and I know you all have the metric system. What is it? The kilogram? Well, that person is different sizes, but I hope y'all get what I'm saying. I'm still learning that system myself.
I hope we all got it. So within the groups, within the support system, I like it. Somebody can be a teacup and somebody can be a teaspoon. When you go to a teaspoon, the teaspoon doesn't have what it takes. A teacup can. But within the support system doesn't take away the role of, what did you say? Therapy or going through, a professional. Are we listening? So within us, we are helping each other. But if there's nobody to help you, move higher. And she's saying that you also get to a place where you stop and you pray. So stopping and praying in itself is therapy, is soothing, and then seek help. Are we listening? I've gotten to a place in my life when people come to me and I realize that, this case I'm handling is beyond me. Now I have a list of numbers. And if I were you, every Wednesday, listen to Family Life. And on Family Life, I bring professionals. I bring lawyers. I bring teachers. I bring different people. I bring Dr. Set. Dr. Set is psychologists. I bring psychiatrists. So if I were you, when they come, jot down their names, take their numbers. At any point when you think that the support system is not helping you, you can call them. You don't even need to come through me. Once you have the name and the number, you can call. Otherwise, if you also want me to connect you to them, I will. Yes, Dr. Nance.
Thank you, Mama Rita, Apostle Mama Rita, and thank you, Ms. Jones. This is very insightful. But my question is, Mommy, you have taught us severally on temperament. So looking at emotional defense and building support systems, what is the line or relationship between these and temperament? We have extrovert people, we have introvert people, and the characteristics, how they handle emotions. I think this one is a whole topic, but if you can summarize it, how we can play around that temperament of each person and giving support systems. Thank you. That's if I'm clear.
Did you understand her?
I did.
Okay.
So when it comes to extrovert and introverts, sometimes I feel like we get the definition of extrovert and introvert wrong. Extrovert means you are a person that gets energy when you're around other people. Introvert means being around other people for a certain period of time exhausts you. Your social battery dies a bit quicker than everybody else's. That really doesn't play a whole big role into support systems, because no matter your personality, you need a support system and you need to be a part of someone's support system. And it's okay. That's the whole capacity. That goes back to the capacity thing. If you are a person where large groups exhaust you, maybe you're going to be a part of a support system where it's just the two of you or it's three of you, and you feel more comfortable with that person because their presence may not overwhelm you. And then you also need to be mindful of the personality of those two people. Some people, where as lovely as they are, their personalities can be quite draining. They're a lot to take in. And that's okay. They fit someone else. They just may not fit the more introverted person. So you have to find the group that's going to suit you well. Your support group has to be as unique as you are. It has to be tailored for what your needs are and your personality. The extrovert, they're lucky. They can be around just about anybody, and they feel energy when they're around the support group. So that's how you handle your temperament in selecting your support groups. I hope they help.
Miss Jones, you would have to come back. You would have to come back. We have so many questions. Any other question? Any other question? Yes, there's one there. How many more questions? How many more questions?
We have a question here.
You would have to come back to family life. I haven't finished. Look,
I noticed.
I have so much.
I noticed.
All right, so we received a question on WhatsApp. It says, Mummy, being a female leader and co-founder of a church with many, many individuals relying on your strength and following in your example, what support systems have been available to you? And then how have you dealt with the fear of maintaining strict confidentiality when confronted with issues, considering your status in the body of Christ as an apostle?
So this is directly to me.
Yes,
So ask the
directly to
question
you.
again.
So being a female leader,
I thought you were talking to the American and not to the Ghanaian. So let me hear the question again.
So a question for Apostle Mama Rita. So it says, being a female leader and co-founder of a church with many, many individuals relying on your strength and following in your example. Now the question is, what support system have been available to you? And then how have you dealt with the fear of maintaining strict confidentiality when confronted with issues, considering your status in the body of Christ as an apostle?
Very, very good question. Very good question. So I want everybody to listen. Miss Jones said something. She said, stop and pray. Stop and pray. And this has been my backbone. It doesn't matter the issues I am confronted with. I stop and I pray. It doesn't matter how serious the issues are. Once I go before God, and when I go before God, I am very vulnerable. I am not afraid to cry before God. I am not afraid to tell God about my fears. I am not scared to tell God about my disappointments. I mean, I tell God everything. And once I go to God, I feel, That is me. Everybody might not be the same. But when I go before God, I feel like I'm speaking to a friend. So I tell God everything. Once I'm able to go before God and talk to God about everything, by the time I am done with prayer, I feel so light. Number 2, I have such a good relationship with my husband. I mean, very, very good relationship with my husband. He's my number 1 support system when we are talking about human beings. So there are a lot of things I discuss with him. My only problem, people come telling you things. They come telling you things. And they expect that whatever they have said to you, keep it. Are we listening? This is where my challenge is. Keeping it. Sometimes bottling up for so long can drain you as an individual. That is the truth. Where somebody comes to you a 9-year-old come to you and says, "Mommy, I have been raped. I don't want mommy to know. I don't want daddy to know. I don't want you to tell anybody." And the child tells you, "Mama Rita, if you tell anybody, I am done with you." And you know these children, and they mean it. And you look at this child and you are wondering, am I making a mistake by not telling mommy? Am I making a mistake by not telling daddy? Hey, what if I go and tell Apostle General and by mistake? And for days, this thing hangs on you. And I was taught in counseling that every counselor needs a counselor. Every counselor needs a counselor. You also need somebody to offload. And yet you have issues where you can't offload. This is where my issue is. So I go before God, talk to God about it, and sometimes. Number 3, I have a very good relationship with my children, that we talk. We talk. So sometimes I come and we talk about some of the issues and I'm okay. And then I have a few people that I have a very good relationship with. Mrs. Opariado is one. Mama Nandi is one. Mama Faith is one. We call each other and we can talk. And I can be very vulnerable before them. I tell them, A, B, C, D is going on in my life. And I think that everybody needs somebody like that. My darling, it gets to a time in your life where it gets very stressful. And if you are not careful and you keep things to yourself alone, my darling, you will break down. Miss Jones says you are a human being. You are not God. So have a way where you can also offload. Number 1 is God, where you can go before God and pour your heart. Worship time, you can pour your heart. praises, dance before God. I mean, don't look at anybody. Me, when I come to church, I don't look at anybody. If I want to run around the auditorium, I will. If I feel like playing my bell, I will. If I feel like playing the flag, I will. I used to have a tambourine. I just come play the tambourine. I mean, I make sure that when I come to church, before I go home, I have offloaded to God. I pour it. And then number 2, for a lot of you, some people are very good in writing down their problems. And that is what she's talking about. Journaling. Writing it down. Unfortunately, I'm not very good with that. Because the kind of issues that come to me, I'm always afraid. I know people that wrote down everything. There's somebody I handled. She wrote down everything that happened between herself and her husband. She wrote it down. Everything the husband did to her, she wrote it down. Unfortunately for her, she died. One of her daughters got hold of that diary, and now there's an issue between the daughter and the father. So it's good to journal. Everybody, all the professionals will tell you, journal it, write it down. How do I go and write down? The one who told me she was raped at age 9, write her name. After she was raped, the things that have happened to her. After she was raped, she's become so vulnerable. Little girl, she's there and she hears voices. Let me sleep with men. How do I go and write this one down? For my children to go and read this. I have a dream and somebody's worrying me as a witch. How do I go and write them? I want my children to see everybody as an auntie. I don't want them now, they are looking at people. So you asked me, what do I do? My number 1 is prayer. I'm very vulnerable before God. Number 2, I know how to make myself happy when I come to church through worship, through dancing, my bell. It's all therapy for me. Number 3, my husband. I know how to offload to my husband. And then number 4, I have support groups, people I can call. I mean, I can call Mrs. Opariado and we'll talk. I can call Mama Faith and we will talk. I can call Mama Nandi and we will talk. I can call Mama Naomi and we will talk. As for Mama Naomi, when she calls me, I'm in trouble. I know she's listening to me. Mama Naomi, when she wants to offload, it's like I am the problem. And I know her so well. I'll be quiet. After she's done, then she'll ask me, so what should I do? I said, prayer. Oh, as for you, everything, pray. My darling, you need people. This is why I created women in ministry. You need somebody. You can't stand on your own. You can't do it on your own. You can't be making Pastor slapped you once because he's a pastor. You think if you come and tell me, we will discipline him, so you won't tell me. My darling, talk to somebody else. If you are here and there's nobody that you can talk to, trust me, you end up breaking down. Maybe we'll take a last question and then we'll continue. Did I answer my question well?
You did.
The journaling, I think we need to talk about it.
We should.
Yeah.
Writing
things down.
Writing things down is helpful because it helps you process your thoughts.
My darling, is very, very helpful. Sometimes when you write it down, it's like you have spoken to somebody. Mm-hmm. But my problem, after I've written it down, what do I do with that diary? From where I sit, I've seen people whose children went for their diaries and the kind of things they saw their own father do to their mother, that their mother never spoke about it. I'm telling you, it's good to write it, but yes.
Okay.
Please come forward.
Okay. My name is Florence Asamoah, and Mama Rita is my mother.
I like that. Please tell them. Please, if you don't have a mother, go and look for a mother.
All right. And so before I ask my question, I want to say that if you have not received a hug from Mama Rita before, you have to do everything and get at least a hug before the year ends. Before I had a one-on-one talk with Mama Rita, she gave me a hug. I would have to remind her, it was after a worship session. She called me, she sent for me from the stage, and she hugged me. And I can say that that hug was healing to me. Wow. Because at the time, there was so much I was going through. I had not told her anything. That hug was like I was in heaven. I'm like, do I even need to talk to Mama Rita again? I hung on one hug for 1 year.
Wow. You need another hug.
So please do well.
Now the gossip in town. Somebody said this gossip to me during the convention and said, if you want a hug, go to Royalhouse. Before you leave, go and pass Mama Rita's in front of her. Just greet her. She will give you a hug. So now stop the hugs. No, I'm joking.
Okay, so Mama Rita, at a point in time in my life, I was juggling between the role of a lady pastor, a pastor's wife, handling a church, counseling people, a corporate woman, running a side business with teenagers, too many things at the same time. At a point in time, I had to use my office lunch time to talk to people in counseling. Night times, whilst my husband is waiting for me in bed, I'll have to be on the phone talking to people. I really felt so drained that I literally felt I was dying. And so at a point in time, I have to really put down the counseling entirely. I have to let go of the business, which was also supporting the home, just to concentrate on the ministry and the corporate work and family. Now, I want to ask you, Apostle Rita, was that a good decision to push aside the counseling, which was helping some people, and the side business, which was also earning us some extra income, and just concentrate on the three? Was that a good decision? Thank you.
That's a very good question. Shall we clap for her? Would you want to come in before I come in?
I'll share just a little bit.
Okay.
I think it was a good decision because not all money is good money. You were making money, but you were losing you. I think that's a great decision that you made. It's very mature. You are well aware of it. A big thing is making sure you schedule time. I'm a big fan of schedules because I'm a type A personality. My schedule, I have everything in. I schedule in my lunchtime and nobody at the office can interrupt that. I'm going to schedule my time. When I get home, I have scheduled time. So you have to be intentional about taking your time. I think it was a great decision.
Well, that is American. For the Ghanaian, for those of you who do not know her, she used to be a pastor's wife, she's told you, in another church. A pastor herself in another church. Some way, somehow, after COVID, the church didn't do well, and they found themselves in Royalhouse Chapel. Everybody listen to me. From the professional point of view, they would say it is good to have stopped the counseling. On the other hand, if you ask me, I would tell you that stopping the counseling is one of the reasons why the church broke down. Church members need people to talk to. That is the truth. One reason why Royalhouse Chapel is Royalhouse Chapel, and one reason why Royalhouse Chapel is still thriving, is because I am there for people. If they come and they don't have anybody to talk to, in other words, no support system, unfortunately, they go to the church next door where the pastor or the pastor's wife will be available to talk to them. I mean, unfortunately, that is the truth. If Apostle General is busy on stage after preaching, he's busy and he can't talk to people. And I also say that I am breaking down emotionally, so I won't listen to people, trust me. There'll be too many problems unattended to in the church. It gets to a time when people can't handle their problems anymore, they leave. But let me borrow what she said. Now what you do is you schedule times for counseling. When I started, maybe I could have also done your style by stopping counseling immediately or completely. Why? Because I used to do counseling after work, because people go to work. After work, that's when they have time. That's when I knew people can be selfish. I could do counseling, Miss Jones, to 6 a.m. Yes. And people will sit down and wait. I start at 6 p.m. I can do counseling till 6 p.m. I have left here 7 a.m. If my other PA was here, she would tell you. 7 a.m. Just listening to the issues of people. Now I discovered that I was worse than a nurse. It was now affecting my sleep. So I decided, let me do a schedule. If I have to do counseling after family life, it will be one person. I won't take 3, 4, 5 people like I used to do, and then leave here 1 a.m., 2 a.m. after family life. If I have to do counseling on Sunday evening, after I've done my counseling, I finish Sunday, I leave here about 5. Sometimes 6. Pastor Bennett reminded me. I've left here 6 p.m. from 7 a.m. severally. So the day I leave here 6 p.m., 7 p.m., I won't do counseling in the evening. If I'm able to leave here 5, then I can go have my lunch. Between lunch and supper, we know between breakfast and lunch. I don't know between lunch and supper, the name. I hear that is the dinner. So if I leave here at 5, then I can go home, eat, have like an hour rest, and then I can have maybe a couple or an individual or a group at 7 p.m. or 8 p.m. Now, I hardly do counseling during the week. If I have to do it, 1, 2, and I am done. Some time ago, during the day, another thing. So, you are not doing one-on-one phase counseling, but the telephone, my children will tell you. Sometimes they don't have access to talk to me. Every time I come, I'm handling an issue with a pastor's wife in UK, a pastor's wife in America, a pastor's wife, a member who is having a problem with the pastor's wife, a member who is having a problem with the president. There's a lady who called me, she's not a member of Royalhouse, and wanted phone counseling. I'm even looking for her number. I didn't store her number. I hope when she hears me on Family Life, she will know it's her. I did phone counseling with her. She's a pastor's wife, having issues with her husband, and they belong to a big church. And she thinks that because the husband is up there, when she goes sharing her issues, it's not handled well. She's come to see me before we talked. She said everything got well. After a year or two, the issues started coming. So she called me for phone counseling. And every second, I'll say, hold on. Because another call was coming. Hold on. Another call was coming. Hold on. Another call was coming. Until finally I was there when Tina called. I need to come and see something for her now. After seeing it, I forgot I was doing phone counseling. It's been 2 weeks. And my phone, the calls I make, I didn't save her number. I don't even know how to get her number. And she might think, I didn't want to listen to her again. So, my darling, for the branch pastors here, presidents of women's organizations here, please schedule a time. Mama Rosemond will tell you, if after service she comes to me, Mommy, this one is a desperate case, and I don't have the time. I've scheduled people already. I tell her, go and listen and report back. If I have to call the person, I will. Because if you are not careful, my darling, you are also human. You will break down. You are a pastor's wife. You are a pastor yourself. You are a corporate woman. You are a mother. Some of you are students. People like Nanakos are doing 2 masters at the same time. We are doing so many things at the same time. If we are not careful, there's something called burnout. And there's something called chronic fatigue. My darling, don't wish to get there. That is why she's talking to us about support system. You can't be everywhere. If there's a funeral, you can't go. Ask somebody to go. If there's an engagement, you can't go. Ask somebody to go. If there's a wedding, you can't go. Ask somebody to go. If you can't do everything. Sometimes we do so much, we take care of everybody and leave ourselves and leave our children. That is the truth. And sometimes people see our children enjoying and they envy. They don't know what our children go through. They don't know what our children go through. So yes, it wasn't good to cut it completely. But what you should have done was now to do a schedule. I used to be like you. When we started Royalhouse Chapel, and I was working in the bank, sometimes whilst counseling, and unfortunately for me, whilst counting money, unfortunately for me, my bank was so close to Blackmore and Sons. So when they come to Blackmore and Sons and they don't find me, everybody knew where my office was. They will come. Whilst I'm counting money, there are people in front of me, I'm doing counseling. Yes. Yes. People don't know what we go through. After I'm done and I close, I don't go home. I go to the church to continue with the counseling. Then on Saturday, you have engagements. Then sometimes there's a year. Sometimes we are going to cut somebody's wedding. I did that until one day I was in the office counting money and I collapsed. Yes. Yes. So my darling, what we are talking about is very, very important for every leader here. If for any reason you have an experience and you want to share it with us, I think we are okay with the questions. Oh, there are more questions. You people, you don't want to close today.
Hallelujah. So the last question is, what do you do when people you expect to be your support system are not supportive? And then what do you do when you get exhausted from being someone's support system?
She's answered that question a bit. What do you do if you don't have a support system? So, but I think she would answer again. And then number two,
So what do you do when people you expect to be your support system are not supportive?
Yes, when people you expect to be your support system are not supportive.
Yes.
And then number two,
what do you do when you get exhausted of being someone's support system?
when you get
exhausted,
tired of being somebody's support system.
It's interesting that the person is saying that the people that she thought would be her support system aren't being it, and now she's not wanting to be someone's support system. I'm guessing it's a lady, I'm sorry. Interesting how that circle worked. So, in order to have a good support system, you need to be a good support system. But I'll answer her first one. When you feel like they're not being supportive, have open communication with them to let them know how you feel, why, what's going on with them. If it's a case of timing, they don't have time for you or they don't have the capacity for it, that's one thing. But if the person is just not a good friend, they're judgmental, they just don't like you, and that's why they're not a support system, that's a whole nother thing. It's time to find a better support system. Scratch that. It's time to find an actual support system. Now, her second question, if the other person that she's supporting is draining her, maybe she's doing it to the other people. It sounds like she's reaping what she's sowing. That's what it sounds like. But consider what this person is doing that's draining you. Are you there 24/7? Are you telling them to diversify their support system? Are you honest and you're setting boundaries with this person to say, this is what I can do. This is how much time I have for you. This is the capacity that I have for you. It's time that that person is being honest with who they are and actually being honest with other people as well. Yeah.
Sorry, they were talking to me at the same time.
Okay.
Is everybody okay?
Yeah.
Was the question answered?
It was answered.
The question was answered. Unfortunately, our time is up. I was hoping that we will finish this by 8:15 so we can pray a bit. But certainly, Miss Jones will have to come back. I want to say a very big thank you to, I don't want to make a mistake, Miss Shaquella.
Shaquella. I like that.
Jones, Miss Shaquella Jones. So I want to say a very big thank you to Miss Shaquella Jones. She's been a blessing one more time. I mean, this woman is loaded, loaded, loaded. Shall we give it up to them? And I want to say a very big thank you to the leadership of women in ministry to put this one together. The truth is that if they had left me alone, I was going to meet them in December. But they felt that since July, since I was made an apostle, I haven't been here. Today I am here. I want to say a very big thank you to our media team, to everybody that came today. I pray that you've been blessed. Your questions have been answered. You are leaving here a better person. You will get support system, and you yourself will be a support to others. But listen, you are not 24/7. If there's anything I took away, you are not 24/7. You need time for yourself. Otherwise, you will break down. We need boundaries. We need boundaries. Where you think that you can, my darling. The truth is that whether we like it or not, in the position we find ourselves, we will hurt others. People will get hurt because we said no. People will get hurt because we didn't go to the funerals of their relatives. People will get hurt because we didn't go to their engagements, their traditional marriages. People will get hurt because we didn't go to their weddings. These days, some people, when they come, depending on the relationship, I ask them, do you want the traditional marriage or you want the wedding? Which one do you want me to come? Because you can't do everything. My darling, you are not 24/7. Get somebody you can talk to. First, stop and pray. A lot of you have stopped praying, or you are not praying much. This morning I woke up tired because I left here so late. When I went, like I said, I was too tired to sleep. So I ended up, I don't know what time I slept, whether 4 a.m. I woke up tired. But for some reason, when I woke up, as usual, I went to my best of friends, God. I prayed. After I prayed, I felt so light. I mean, so light. Try that. Go to God. Tell him all your fears, anything worrying you. Cry before God. And then when you are done, get a book, write it down. One thing I used to do when I used to journal a lot, I used to code. So if there are things you don't want your children to ever read, or you don't want anybody to ever read, just code it. Unless you want people to know what you went through after you are dead, then it's fine. Until then, make a date with me. Same day, same time next week. Family life. We are building happy and strong homes. Have a good night, and I want you to know that I love you.